We're just being extra.
Let's go ahead and get right to Shannon Sharpe so you can start talking about him.
I got some things to say. Anyway, look. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Just Extra podcast with Jackie and Erica. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Erica. You caught me off guard on that one, huh?
Oh, I thought you was ready.
No, I was, typing and writing and preparing for this episode.
Okay.
But I thought we're good.
All right.
No, we are prepared. We're going to start this episode off a little differently. Y'all know I like to say we're going to start this episode off like we usually do with our extra thoughts segment, but our producer Hassan, don't hire him. I'm just kidding.
Shit happens. So, like I said, we're just happy to have the help. So we had an episode that didn't come out, and probably for good reasons, it's not going to come out. But it's just not going to come out for good reasons. It's a blessing in disguise. But in general, we want to say we work really hard on these episodes, whether they come out or they don't come out. We just want you guys to continue to watch, share, like, even if you're not going to finish the whole episode or you're going to come back later, just give us a like, give us a quick comment, share it, let us know that we're doing a good job. If you like the episode, say it. If you didn't care for the episode, say it. But please interact with us. We appreciate that. That's what helps us grow. And Hassan just told us we have another episode that just reached 100. So shout out to the Chill Lounge Network. What was the episode that went to 100? I didn't ask. I forgot.
It was pop culture.
Yeah, the pop psychology we already knew.
Yeah. And the other one was...
We already knew Dirty December did really well. Pop psychology was new.
It was
and my parents, we already knew as well.
Yeah, the other one was... I think it was it's right there on top of my head.
Like I said at the top, don't hire. No, just kidding.
It's Love Unconditional. That's the one.
Oh, okay. Well, I do think our evergreen topics, especially when there's something that relates to a lot of people. I've heard it'll come in and people are like, what is this? Like people who don't know us and like, this looks interesting. Mm-hmm. Let's click on it. So
hopefully we do a really good job covering a topic. I mean, I think Jackie and I are different people. And so we come from different perspectives on some of our takes, but some of our takes are similar, but we're doing a lot of sharing of our personal lives, lived experiences, and we hope that there's something that does resonate with you. So again, to Jackie's point, leave us a comment, subscribe, share, do all the things. You can follow us all on social media. We could do that. I usually run that down at the end. So if you make it through the episode, you've heard them before.
And tell people, tell a friend. Tell a friend
to tell a friend. Yeah. Bring a friend.
Exactly. Shout out to my mom. She's doing a better job. I see you, girl.
Oh, that's great.
The more subscribers we get, the more people we watch. We might want to give y'all some little extra content. So.
Yes, we would love a Patreon, some place to put Jackie's.
You gonna hear what I gotta say for real.
Y'all be missing my shit too. A lot of shit. If y'all pay attention to the episode, I'll be looking straight at Erica when I say shit.
Just because.
And it be so funny. It'd be so funny. I might give you one today too.
Okay.
I might give you one today.
Are you trying to say that I'm slow and I don't pick up on things?
No. You just... Or
we be looking at each other.
No, you hear what I say and you just be like, oh my God. She get that deep breath.
I appreciate it. I think that's the good part about having a show like this when you have characters built in like this, because we're not just characters, we're people, but just perspectives and personalities that are different, because I don't like to watch shows when everyone has the same ideal when it comes down to different stuff, because I'm just like, okay, that's just one perspective for this one show, when there's multiple different perspectives. So there's someone that could I could agree with them, and then the other person's like, no, but I can see where you're coming from, and I can see why that perspective came out. I like that. I like that dynamic in the show.
Yeah, I don't.
Hence, this is where we differ.
I'd be so annoyed. I'd be like, that take is horrible and I don't want to support you. But
honestly, that's what makes
content. Okay.
I kind of like podcasts like that. Give me a horrible take. The worst take you can to try to make some conversation.
I prefer them discussing a take that was awful, but they are aligned on it. So like there's a third opposing view that isn't, because I'm trying to like the people that I'm watching. Why am I watching y'all? I'm not a hate watcher. I'm not hate watching your content because I think you have a terrible take and I just want to see what you're going to say. And I don't do that. I want to support you because I genuinely want to support you. I like you. I want to get with you. So like get with your content. Like, I mean, what you look like? Maybe I'll get with you too.
Don't you like Candace Owens?
No.
Oh, shit.
like
Okay,
you
my
do?
bad. I thought you did.
That's crazy.
I thought you did. I'm sorry.
Delete.
A little fact check
I
back
thought you
there.
did.
So
thought
they're
you did.
Genuinely confused. Are you being genuine right now?
No, I thought you did. I thought you were a Candace Owens fan.
Huh? What about me gives off Candace Owens stan?
I wouldn't say Stan.
Now, Stan is a strong word.
Do you hear me
wouldn't say
writing for
Stan.
Amanda Seals?
I hear
So
that.
I can't like Amanda Seals and Candace Owens.
Why can't you?
Because they are not the same.
I feel like, well, maybe I probably had Amanda Seals on the brain, but then said Candace Owens. You're probably right. I'm sorry.
I do. I am in a movie.
See, you almost said it. You almost said it. See, look at you. See?
A little Freudian slip.
And that is our extra thoughts segment of the podcast.
Nope. And this is where we will differ as well. I will add this last point and then we can segue properly. I think that, well, just an example. I watched the Joe Budden podcast and, it has changed throughout the years, but the reason why I watched that podcast is because he actually allows people with opposing thoughts to get on the couch with him and flesh it out, because it's just, I just wouldn't. My thing is, I'll already know in my head I have an opinion on something, and no matter what you'll say, it's just going to be there. But then when you hear somebody else who genuinely believes that, it's the fact that sometimes I didn't know that other perspective exists, and then why? And then I'm just like, okay, I still might not get with you, but at least I know there are other people who look at this issue and think differently. And that, I feel like that gives me a well-rounded thought. I don't like to live in a bubble, like an echo chamber, because I feel like an echo chamber, it just, again, the same thing that you put out, you get in and there's nothing new. And then you think that nothing else exists. And then when something does come out of the world work, it throws you completely off, where, that's just my opinion. But
yeah. I absolutely think that you should understand the other side in order to better equip yourself with the foolishness that's going to come out of that side. That's how I only want to know what dumbness you're going to say so that I can combat it. I genuinely don't want to learn why you think that. Again, if it's very much so rooted in morals and values and some things that I'm just when I get really shocked or thrown that there are people who really think that way, believe these things genuinely, and still think positively about themselves as people. And I'm just I get so confused. I don't know. I'm not intrigued to learn why. Only if I and then I don't even want to engage in conversation with those folks. I really don't. It's not worth my energy, because I know you're so on the opposite side that I will literally get so upset, and I don't want to be. It will literally upset me, and I can't.
In a challenging thought, do we think that we're still good people by also condemning others as well?
Yeah. Depends on what you're doing that needs to be condemned. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And especially, I think depending on what you're condemning. I think you could still be a good person and be it's absolutely terrible that you raped that child.
Wow, that's a far throw. But at the end of the day, there
Hopefully
are people.
We're more than 5 minutes in.
Unfortunately, there are people who have different mindset, and we'll talk about that a little later about legality and stuff like that. And as far as age goes, we'll get into that a little bit. But I think growing up, I just had that thought that at the end of the day, we all think that we're all good people, and all of our thoughts do differ, and we share different thoughts and perspectives. But we are allowed to use the word dumb and, terrible because those are our opinions. But are they? That's all subjective.
To me, yeah. In my opinion, that I am giving. Yeah. Absolutely.
There you go. All right, so we're going to have our catch up segment where we're just going to catch up with each other. Like we've kind of been seeing each other a lot more this past week or so. So I know what you've been up to, but I just want to get into your thoughts. We're just going to get into each other's head as far as like
because we're not mad at each other and I'm so sorry.
No, get it out. Shit, you call it authentic. I like an authentic response, you know? Okay, ma'am. What's up?
What's good with me? What's going on in my life? Are you asking me?
Yeah, because we're not mad at each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not mad. I'm here. I'm just like, yeah. I don't know. It just makes it more real for me. Like if we just are pretending life is like rainbows and sunshines, we're really ignoring the real issues. But like, and I feel like real comes from real life experiences and like feelings. That's just my head space. What you been up to, girl?
Well, I mean, you got the real tea. So for the audience members who don't, who have not seen me, because again, don't hire Hassan. He dropped off our episode, but mostly because Jackie.
Don't talk about it. Are we going to talk about it? Because if we don't talk about it,
we're not. No,
we are going to have an hour.
We're not.
We are going to have, hey y'all, we're going to have an hour and a half long episode. We're going to stop it there. Me and Erica have opposing views on certain topics that challenges her for some reason. I think that I can have a different perspective from another person and still remain like friends and respectful to that person. Like we can share different things to each other. I can still break bread with you. We just won't see eye to eye on that subject. Yeah. Now, if Erica, if you feel like we have to hit every nail on the head and then we can be friends, you're not going to have any friends. I'm just going to say it like that.
Yeah, true. I mean, honestly, it's really unfortunate, like, how rigid I can be in regards to, my criteria for sharing space. It's really, I don't know what to say. I'm like, I think there are just some things I really am just like, yeah.
Yeah.
And you mean something to me.
I hope that this is not my journey. It's your journey. So I can't want anything for you.
Okay.
I just know that life would be more fruitful for you once you like alter that rigidity. But if you do end up finding that group of people that hit every single mark for you, I'll be so happy for. But I do think that there's a lot of fruit in that respecting of other people's perspectives and still like, you can still retain who you are. And you associating with somebody that may have that headspace, like, okay, and I'm not going to agree with you here, but I'm not going to like, like, I just don't think that person does not deserve to be in my aura. Now, granted, if there's some stuff that's just like, I believe in, again, we'll talk about it a little later, like borderline pedophilia. Okay, we might have to back off there because I have like younger siblings or I love children. Unlike you, because like you don't want to have kids. If I stop talking to you because you don't want to have kids, that was like, dang, that's like, I'm possibly like, here's a person here that I actually think is a really cool person. They set an example for their lives that I could look and like aspire to, but maybe not in that direct aspect. I can see why you don't like kids. And I like totally love the fact that you're so firm on that, because as a woman, I go back and forth because I grew up like modeled to have kids. Like I took care of people. I took care of younger siblings and stuff. So to not want to nurture and bring in God's children. And that's also utilizing like religion and stuff like that. Like, yeah, if I could, I'd be like, this is a selfish, because there's some people think who don't. Absolutely. Like, man, this is a person who's like genuinely here selfish. To give birth. Like, what is this? But it's just like, this woman is a woman who has right to choose whatever life she wants to. And I go through life with that perspective. And with that perspective, I'm still sharing space with you because at the end of the day, like, you have the right to not want to have kids because shit, kids expensive. Like, I understand. Like, some people don't want to do that. Like, just like some people don't want to go to college. Some people don't. Life has choices and life has perspective. So,
absolutely.
you know, yeah, that's it.
No, 1,000%. I think that there are for sure things that are preferences and we can have differences. You know, you can like scary movies and I can absolutely hate them. You know,
because we
could still and we could still be friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, at one point in time, I was drinking dark liquor and you were drinking light liquor, and we could still be friends. You know what I'm saying?
I always did the light from the time I started to, because me and dark, we do not get along.
I think that, like, yes, preferences, differences, they're going to happen.
But preference is also different as far as like life views and stuff goes. So
yes, then that's where I'm like, that's where some things need to be a little bit more similar.
Okay.
Like I'm like, you know, things that I feel like foundationally are the tree of the roots to my like tree. I'm like, some of those things, absolutely, we got to be on the same page about that ish.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But like, we can bloom different flowers.
That's right. So you decide.
That's beautiful.
You decide for yourself what takes are worth like severing relationships for. You at this point, I know
like
for you,
everybody.
Trump,
absolutely.
Trump supporting, it's definitely a no.
Yeah,
because I've seen that and I like understand that and like, yeah, all right, well, hey, because a lot of these people are fuck around and finding out.
Yeah,
and there you go. But like, we're not going to talk about, see, my mom talked about this too. She's like, we talk around stuff. We're not being, so there was a topic about gender and sex that we won't get into that I had opposing opinions from Erica about. And I'm like, okay, Erica, is it worth, and not to go like that deep, but like, is it worth you not being friends with somebody who has a different take on a subject? Because that's inherently what they believe because of how they were brought up, versus like, at the end of the day, this person still wants everyone to have the genuine basic human rights of life. But as far as like how I like deem like together and separate, this is where I feel like we separate from. And this is where I feel like we can be together in. And in yours is like, everybody's in here. And I'm just like, no, I don't agree.
Yeah. I think, what was the question?
Do you feel like that's worth severing relationship ties about?
I mean, yeah. And I think, honestly, we got to a place where at the root, we are aligned. There's some differences in how we communicated the topic. I think that there are opportunities to like learn and explore more, you know, because I think, like you said, it was the first time you were hearing about things, which understandable, like things that I don't know. I'm like, what's happening? You know? And I think as long as you approach some of these things with like an open mindset of like, I've not heard that. Can you tell me why like that expression is used? I'd be like, yeah, this is it, you know? And it's received from like a place of understanding. Like, I think the how, you know, we go on to these learning journeys is like important. Are you showcasing an open mindset? And I think you have. Like, I think, you know, it didn't start off that way. It did not. It took a couple revisits of the conversation to be like, okay,
because actually
I'm understanding.
I think for me, my issue with our communication was figuring out like what angle. And what I did figure out at the end, like we're talking about the same thing, but when it comes down to like sex and gender, that's where it differs off. And also the use of word like goes into sex and gender. And like, you know, so that's where I was just like, oh yeah, you're right. Actually, that does make sense. So now with that understanding, this is where I still stand here. But to clarify, this is what I meant by that. So this is it. So that was a little roundabout way. And I don't want the episode to be overtaken by that because, again, the episode is not coming out. But we do have differences in opinion that I feel like is good And I feel like that goes into the main topic of our episode today, which is type A versus type B people. But
versus, because it's a battle.
It's a versus. And it's just like, we are just these people, and we are so firm in our stance in it. And I like it. I know you don't. You don't, but I like it.
Yeah. I guess just to clearly answer your question, yeah, for sure. We got to the basis of an understanding that I'm like, okay, that's good. That's great. A little tricky in the navigation of it. But like, yeah, those are things that I think are important to me. Like I would want to be able to like have certain conversations. And like, again, the thing that I feel at this moment in time is a part of my life's purpose is advocating for marginalized voices. And I'm just like, I need that alignment. I need us to be on the same page. Are we on the same page? Because I'm going to continue to do that forever. And I'd like to not have like a pressing force on, to me, what is something is very important, right? Like if you wanted to start a hair care company or do whatever and the whole time I'm just like not about that life and I'm like you would not want to have that person around. Like, and that is, to me, how I make those decisions. You having a difference of light versus dark liquor or whatever, I don't care. It does not inhibit how I would like to live and navigate my life. I make the decisions about who is in my life based off of, are you making it more difficult for me to move around for the things that matter to me? And so that's how I would make those decisions. Like,
I respect that. I know for me, like now I'm just more firm, like trying to navigate into self-acceptance, but I will have to be that person where it's just like you said, like, are you hindering me or am I going to be able to just do me? I want you to be able to do you wholly and not like feel like you have to like, can I not? Because baby, you do what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, I'm not in that field. Your field is diversity, equity, and inclusion. So baby, and I'm all for that. Go ahead and do that. I just know for me, there's a certain stops in some places. I'm like, whoa, hold on now. But overall, I do want, at the end of the day, humans to have every right that they're entitled to. That's it.
Okay. I personally think that that's also part of the catch up. So I just like to wrap that into one bubble if you're okay with that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right, cool. So we're just going to navigate into our extra segment of the podcast. This is the episode that's not coming. Did that episode come out? Was extra the episode?
That whole episode it's going to be scrapped. I don't know. I think if there's a topic that's still like falling around, it's not like, old, maybe I'll go ahead and play with it a little bit, but probably not. Can I said on my catch up, I wanted to talk about sinners, but could that be extra, or what should we do?
Sure, if you want to talk about it as an extra, I think that's fine. Extra is the segment of the podcast where we talk about pop culture, things on the internet, things in the news. So
you don't want to do your catch up at all?
No.
Oh, for the time?
Yeah.
Okay, so this week I actually saw Sinners, and Sinners, I would say, just looking at the preview from earlier times, it was supposed to come out in March, but it actually premiered later April. I was interested in just watching it because, it was an action flick, Michael B. Jordan. I'm like, okay, Ryan Coogler, yeah, let's go see it. And I'm happy I did see it before everybody else because of certain reasons. But if you haven't seen Sinners is like a horror movie set in the Jim Crow era, where it's by two brothers. It's the premise of the movie is two brothers going back home to Mississippi and opening up a juke joint for one night that is met with some supernatural forces that stop them in their path. So I hope that's a well-rounded. Did I do okay?
Yeah, you did without spoiling it.
Yes, I'm trying not to spoil it. But I'm so happy that I actually decided to watch the movie because, I am a fan of horror movie flicks, but I love like period pieces, especially period pieces that highlight the Black experience. The one thing that they talked about was a lot of people were talking about like, ooh, it's not trauma porn. I know you know about like, have you seen Color Purple? Have you seen like these movies during that time period where Black people are faced with like issues and it just doesn't have a happy ending? In my opinion, it's not trauma porn. It's just like highlighting what happened. That's the thing with, you know, today when they're trying to get rid of all the educational things that happen to Black people. Like, why are you erasing what's happening? Why are you afraid of what happened to you? If you face the traumas that will happen to you, you can go forward. But that's here nor there. But I really loved it because it highlighted not only Black culture back then, but also Black music. It's just really nice to see like, hey, there was a scene in the movie that I didn't expect. And I was so happy to see it because it was just like, okay, everything that I knew as far as Black music and how it ties into American culture was on display. And it was just, I don't know, it was just a very powerful scene. And it just made me feel like, as someone who's deeply connected to Black music and just how we've come about, you know, my family knew like Sam Cooke and just how like in Chicago, and then it just, you know, ties back to Mississippi. Like that was really deep for me. And especially the relations to like Irish people. Like it was just very interesting to see. You talk about it, you hear about it, to see it on screen within a 2-hour time frame was just rewarding. I do feel like some people put 20 on 10 regarding certain aspects of the movie, but I do think it's something for you to see for your own self. That's it. Thought?
Yeah, I enjoyed the movie. Especially it talking about the blues. Big fan of the blues as well. Talking about Buddy Guy.
Yeah.
At the end, they showed them, which was really cool about that. But it's a lot of messages that I think a lot of people miss.
It is. It's so layered. I do think it's layered. I think it's a layered movie. And I think that if you know, you know. If you don't know, it's going to do like this. Yeah.
You get some of the segregation, and you get the story when they talk about the blues, how that kind of, you know, integrated, and also the difference with, you know, Christianity and how it views certain music. You get that point in there as well, too. It was just a lot of things. It was a really good movie. I feel like they also had the little cheat code by putting Michael B. Jordan twice. Now you give him double the lines.
Okay, my only criticism of the movie is that, and I saw the movie twice. That's how much I actually liked it. Because I saw it the first time with Walgreens, and then I wanted to watch it again because I was just like, let me get a little less distraction. Like, let me watch the movie like by myself. And I had a good time like watching it by myself. I think my only criticism is there was a point in time I didn't know. I couldn't tell who from who because I don't think he has a lot of depth as far as like switching personalities. So did you have an issue with that?
Honestly, I didn't.
You didn't?
I
okay.
didn't. I kind of knew. I will say this, even though I'm talking bullshit about him because he be having less lines in a lot of movies, he actually did his thing in this movie.
He did good.
He did his thing.
He was attractive to me in the movie. Is it the go-tos? I don't know. And I don't like goatees. Okay.
Yes, you do. That's your thing.
It's nasty. I was like, oh, this is embarrassing. Why is this turning me on? But I do think that, and you, Erica, are not a fan of scary movies.
And it's not really scary at all.
Honestly, no. For her, that might be a little, it's rated R for a reason. It's like there's certain stuff.
I mean, yeah, when the vampires
blood
be
and
attacking.
gore.
Yeah.
I heard that it's a lot more blood and gore than scary.
Yeah.
So, and I don't like blood and gore either. Like,
okay.
I'm not a horror girl. I'm not really an action flick. You know, I don't like blood. I'm easily, what's it? Like,
Squeamish.
Thank you. Yes. But I did see a TikToker or whoever on Instagram, because that's where I'm at in my life, who was talking about like for the scaredy cats that we could do it, you know, and I want to support Black movies. I've not seen Get Out though still. So there's that. I also didn't see Us, but I did get an overview of the storyline.
I think you would like those.
I didn't really like
I don't
Us.
know. Get Out is on our Black cinema lists.
I would watch that. Us, you probably could skip that. That's just my opinion.
I'm gonna skip it because I got the overview, so I'm okay.
I didn't like it too much.
But yeah, they're saying that Sinners is something that we could watch for us scaredy cats. So, I mean, I don't think so. Not until I can be in like the comfort of my own home.
I think you could
minimum.
wait. I think you could wait. As long if you can,
wait.
I think you need control of the remote controller. That way you
I
can
need to feel like I can get up and walk away.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can fast forward.
If you want to rent it on your screen, I would be okay with that for you. But yeah.
So been watching High Potential, which is like on Hulu, I think, and it's about this like woman who's very, very, very like photographic memory kind of style, and she's consulting with like the police department or whatever, so they're like solving murders. So I've been watching that, and my dad was like, oh, you should watch Will Trent or whatever. And so I was like, oh, he's like, if you like that show, you'll like this show. Within 3 minutes, I promise you, I don't even know if we made it to 3 minutes of watching Will Trent, turn that ish off. There was a dead body. It was the child literally in a pool of blood. The son is like yielding a knife and covered in blood, and they're wrestling, and it's just so much.
Spoiler alert. If you wanted to watch that.
No, it's the opening scene. I don't even know how it ends. I don't know. Did she make it out alive? Did he even kill his sister, or what happened? Like, why are they tussling for this knife? Is the mom about to die? Like, I don't know. I didn't finish. So that's where I'm at on my ability to watch things. So I would need to have my sofa.
Again, that's what I would suggest for you, for knowing you. I would think that it would be good for you to support by renting. So that means not waiting for it to become free or pirated, just more so like rent so you can support Ryan Coogler, Black directors,
or just go buy a movie ticket and don't go.
That's also an option.
True. That is true. I know Van Lathan did that when he I don't think he went to go see The Little Mermaid, but I think he was like, I bought the ticket.
That's nice of him. He is so funny to me.
Yeah. And so they interviewed Ryan on the podcast, Higher Learning. I love it. It's a great podcast. But also apparently there's a lot of noise around Ryan Coogler and like the deal that he got with Warner Brothers to make the movie. Like there's a bunch of people talking. I don't know. Apparently there is a take that like people are talking about like the whatever deal he signed and making a big deal about it, mostly because obviously he's Black.
Yeah. So there was a Variety article that came out regarding the film, and the opening weekend they made $60,000, I think, and it took like 90 million. I said 1,000. Excuse me. So they made 60 million that opening weekend, but it took 90 million to make the movie. It's far away from profitability, and people were calling Variety out because it's just like, why don't you just say like a good opening weekend? Like, why do we have to recoup all the money in one weekend? That's like, you never hear these articles regarding like a Amy Schumer movie, or just one of those like Caucasian actors and actresses in their movies, because a lot of their movies don't make money. They really doesn't. So in my opinion, 60 million, you're more than halfway there. You're a third of the way. Well, 2/3 of the way there. You're doing great. So I don't know. I just feel like, it's rooted in racism. And like, at the end of the day, like,
and even him getting the rights to own his movie after 25 years or something like that.
Original IP. That's impressive. Like, it's not a remake. It's nothing that Marvel owns or anything like that. Like, this is his stuff. Go for it. I'm happy.
Ryan said that it took $200,000 to make, that he was in debt from when he made Creed, and now Sinners could pay for the rest of his life.
I love that. Good job. Just keep on creating. Directors like Ryan Coogler is the reason, like, why I do aspire to like create content. Like, honestly, like when I get the chance and I have the energy, like my brain can go so far, and to see someone's brain and like vision come to life on a piece of paper is so creative, and I love it. All right, so go see it if you can. Rent or buy a ticket for you so you can get up and walk away. But I do think it's
I saw one of them days.
Not the same, but
it's Black.
It's Black, but
I could go. I try to go to see the things that I can go and see and support.
I still haven't seen that. I want to see that.
See, some people don't.
It's on Netflix now. So.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, girl. I'm like, it's.
What was wrong with the movie?
I didn't. It wasn't bad.
It's okay. It wasn't bad, and that's the take that I have as well.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, it wasn't bad. It's just, support your girls. I did support. I bought a ticket. I sat down and watched it. Would I watch it again? Maybe not. That's just my opinion.
As long as you paid for it.
I paid for it. Okay.
So I don't know exactly where you want to bounce around to next. On our list, we have the girls' trip to space. If we want to just go, unless we want to.
I mean, you went to space for what? Why are you wasting people's money? That's it. I don't know. I know that they're talking about, Jeff Bezos has an idea of putting trash and just, did we experiment with that? Like, what do we do? Why are you guys in space? Why? Is it just because it was an opportunity? I don't know too much about what's happening here. Gail King, Oprah's best friend, was getting a lot of backlash because she was just like, why don't you just be happy for me? The fact that I got this opportunity. And yes, we are happy that you got the opportunity to go to space. Anyone who has the opportunity to go to space, yes. But at the end of the day, should funds be spent in that manner? If you have the funds, I guess you're allowed to spend it any way you want to. But at the end of the day, I don't care.
It's just not a good time. Okay. Obviously the world is on fire. Everyone's like, the tariff, everything is going up, tariffs, whatever, everything. So it's like, why are we like watching billionaires and people with a lot of money like go into space? Also from a sustainability perspective, like why are we not putting efforts to reduce waste or whatever we're doing on Earth before we just like throw it out? That's such a billionaire wealthy thing to do. It's just like I do
feel like it was just in the air. I do think it was a waste. I don't want to.
But I guess I wanted to talk about it because a lot of people are just like trying to find like the positives in it, like women empowerment, and like on the surface, like very easy to grasp. Like 6 women went to space. Like okay. Mm-hmm. I would like to highlight one of the women whose name is Amanda Nguyen. She is a civil rights activist as well as a whoever. Anyway, so Nguyen, she is the first Vietnamese and Southeast Asian woman to travel to space. Okay. So if anyone needs some kind of recognition, it's crazy that firsts still happen in 2025.
Firsts gonna be everywhere.
But yeah, and she's also is a victim of like, I don't know, a sexual assault, and has been advocating for like women's rights and, survivors' rights and things like that. She's actually had like, I forgot what it's called, so I'm trying to look for the name of what it is, but she got like something in law passed. Hold on. She got a unanimous passage of the U.S. Sexual Assault Survivors' Rights Act in 2016. And so basically, I think like, I know everyone's talking about like Gayle King and Katy Perry and all those folks, but I'm like, if we're going to talk about someone who went on this trip who should get some recognition, let's talk about her. I was like, she seems like someone who should get more publicity than whatever Katy Perry sang a song in space. Like, that's all I want to. So, look into Amanda Nguyen, sexual assault survivors, all the good stuff. Like, obviously it's bad stuff, but good stuff that she's made of it. So I just wanted to like name drop her and give people some other perspective to start looking into. And if we're going to talk about this story.
No, that's good, because all I saw online was Katy Perry, Gayle King. And it's just like, yeah, that's because we know who those people are. But who are these other people? Isn't one of those... Nah, I'm not going to go deep into it. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Well, let's see. Let's talk about... Okay, we're in a tough time. We can kind of jump to student loans. If you have not heard, starting May 5th, student loans are going into wage garnishment. So that means federal debts can seize anything from your tax refunds, your wages, your social security. Because at the end of the day, we are at $1.6 trillion in educational debt that has not been repaid. They have been on pause since May of 2020. And we were going to have a moment where the Biden administration was going to work on forgiveness, because I do believe that the educational system is predatory and the loan system is predatory.
Because they don't want Black people,
honey,
to get in.
You better tell them.
That's why you pay a lot, because they don't want you they're trying to limit your access. So they're charging you up the wazoo so that only certain people can get in, because it's free in a lot of places. And
America actually pays for education in other countries. So I don't know. But we're at this time, roughly 10 million borrowers are going to be in default. So I know a couple of people who, they've been listed as default and their credit score went down like 700 to 500. And that's so unfair, because people want to buy homes, people want to rent apartments, people want to buy cars, and they can't do that because we live in a system where credit is king. And if you're not paying for these astronomical loans that have high interest rates that you signed off when you were 21, 20 without any knowledge of, why would they give me this money and I can't make the money with this degree to pay it back? That's hilarious. There's people right now, Chamberlain, I'll speak on my school, which I don't recommend going to. If you're going to go to a 2-year college or a community college to get a nursing degree, I would do that. But they're raising their tuition rates where it's going to be $100,000. Depending on where you live in America, as a nurse, you're not going to be able to make that money per year. So why are we charging people so much? Because not everyone's going to be working in ICU. Not everyone can live in California and make the wage of $102 per hour. And not everyone's going to be a certified registered nurse esthetician. Well, not esthetician, but anesthesiast, where you're going to make upwards to $200K per year. And you can pay those loans off. But a lot of us, there's still medical surgical nurses. There's still people that work in nursing homes and people who do want to be nurses. And that's their only way to get education. And you're being so predatory. I understand that we live in a capitalistic society, but at the end of the day, there are certain things that are happening that you're allowing to happen, which are causing people to default, and it sucks. So I
but we're going to pay for 6 people to go to space for 11 minutes. And
who I don't care for.
We have all of our priorities just out of whack. But welcome to America.
The land of opportunity, quote unquote. Okay.
Anything else that you really want to talk about?
Come on, Jackie, let's talk about it.
All right, Shannon Sharpe. Let's talk about it. Now this might not come out, may not, who knows? But come on, Shannon Sharpe. Let's talk about it. Shannon Sharpe. I didn't even write down the background, but this is what I know. And we'll be high level about it, okay, Hassan? But Shannon Sharpe got caught with his palms open, hands out, or whatever. He is being sued for $50 million by a OnlyFans model who is the lovely ripe age of 19 for sexual assault. And not only sexual assault, but there have been an expose of him using race play. That's a part of his kink. And I don't know about you, this is not Horrible Decisions, and I am not Mandy B. I kink shame. Okay. What are you doing? Okay. Now, going back to it. He offered her, and this is the admission of guilt. He offered her $10 million to not say anything. Mm-hmm. But she was just like, oh no, baby, I need all of it. So what are our thoughts on this? Because as you know, he works with ESPN, and ESPN is owned by Disney, and Disney don't play that. So at this time,
didn't he lose like $150 million deal or something?
So no. So what happened was that he actually, quote unquote, stepped down from his position at ESPN. He said he's going to be back by the preseason football, but we'll see.
Right.
We'll see.
Right, we'll see. But so he was up for $100-something million deal, and then this is when that came.
And to me, it just doesn't make no type of sense, because how old is he? 56?
Yeah, around that.
Mm-hmm. Why aren't you with people your own age?
Because he's a horny
Or just go down to like 30.
He don't.
You know what I'm saying? Like to go down to 19
we don't
is crazy.
know how old was Michelle. So
we don't, but I'm trying to just men in general or anyone in general, that age gap.
That's
what is
nasty.
that?
Because 3 years ago, that girl was in high school. 3 years ago, you're still in your 50s. You're a nasty nigga.
Don't you have children older than she is?
Probably.
Yeah.
He probably does.
So I'm just trying to, it's just gross. Like, I don't think it's, to me, the race play, the kink, whatever you're into, I guess, whatever.
I don't like that shit.
It's gross. I mean, people do it.
Now, I would say this.
I want to focus on his age.
Right. As far as the age, yes. I'm not with that. But when it comes to the race play shit, it's like, you like what you like.
I'm too pro-black for that, okay? Like, I am just too pro-black. Now, unless it's the opposite way around and I'm whipping you for my reparations, and I know that's a thing too, I'm still probably not going to do that because, no. I don't know. I just to see just this big black man just like, yes, oh, you use me for a slave because I definitely would have been a slave back in the day and they definitely would have done me like this. So do me like this. You little. Yeah. What you mean? This is the myth. This was going in this man's mind. Like, yes,
how you
treat
know
me
that's
like a
going
buck. Treat me. You know, like, I'm like, this is disgusting because it's just like, you are literally admitting in this moment that you are not, you are an animal. You are nothing.
I mean, some people get off on that ish. Not even just like the race play of it all, but just like to be a submissive. Like, some people really enjoy being, degraded. And like, not that you degrade submissive. I know there's a difference, but like some people, I think especially the more like wealth and power and like some of those things that you obtain, it's almost like I need something different. Like, make me feel like I'm able to do too much walking around swinging this dick. Okay, somebody put me in my place. Okay, a little bit. Okay,
and I can see that because that's why you do have guys who date women who are could be a little bit more assertive, and then some guys who date women who are a little bit more submissive. I do think there's someone for everyone, but I know for me, Jackie, I don't like that shit. I just think that we've come so far, and then this is just how you get it. This is how you're busting a nut. It's just like, yikes, this is making me uncomfortable.
But
because
what that got to do with how he bust a nut? That's how you get off.
He can front it. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I just don't like it. I'm just saying I don't like it. That's it.
I'm more caught up on the age thing. It's like,
the age thing is
you gonna be pushing 60 and you gonna get played by someone who's still a teenager.
And he gonna
just lost all that money from a teenager.
She's finessed you.
He took it right from underneath you.
He said he don't date his age. He dates his wage. And baby, that wage is $50 million. And how you doing? Go get it, girl. That's what he walked into that himself. Whatever.
That's why I can't feel away.
I don't feel away.
Like, I can see where again, age, that's crazy. But I can see where it's like, okay, where this was probably consent. And then later on, it was like, she was like, I'm not with this no more. And he was like.
And that's where it gets foggy. And that's where it gets a little misty because people are like, well, this is probably just how they communicate and this is how they play because that is a play. But there's also somebody in the same vein who could read that like she's really saying no. But some people, no means yes. And that's where it gets scary and gets a little misty. And this is where I feel like I'm kind of interested in seeing how this plays out because that was their thing. Yeah. But where did it stop? For real. Like, where? Because my thing is, you're recording somebody. So now we're like, why are you recording them? Like, do you feel like something is wrong and you feel like you need proof to show that you're wrong, or you're trying to get over on them? Like, and you're shaping the conversation where you can walk them into something. You can look at that at two different perspectives too. So I don't know how this is going to turn out, but it's not looking good because obviously who he works with and the people that he works with kind of have that, they said that moral line and boundary when it comes down to their business. So We'll see how that goes.
Oh yeah, they're gonna sling mud on her.
They're gonna make him an
doing
example, and they always making us an example. And this is another thing that I really don't care for. You like this race play thing? This is your king. That's fine, but please stop. They're trying to take a black man down. When at the end of the day, you were just a rich man that just got.
Well, his attorney Tony Busby definitely be. They call, I don't know if he's intentionally going after black men. The last couple, have been black and men. So, pattern. But he's also, I thought it was also just an interesting spin that he's trying to say is like, pay attention to my, the attorney over there actually, because, he's not actually great. Don't look at what I did.
Don't look at what I said.
I didn't like what he said.
Okay.
Like, I didn't like how he was, when he first put out the video, he was just like, yeah, Tony Busby, the one that went after Jay-Z. It was like,
okay, but Jay-Z got that shit dismissed. You're literally saying this to this girl.
You said, I don't know this woman?
Exactly. We have the text messages. Say that. Yeah. We have you speaking to this lady. Like, you have said multiple times you date your wage. Like,
yeah, it all the signs point to that. Like,
all signs point to you a nasty nigga.
Like,
you
two things could be true.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it could be a shakedown, but also too, don't put yourself in that situation to get part of that shakedown.
Come on.
So, yeah, if you easy pickings, then
come on, look. That's why I was just like, you kind of became a mark. So it's like, do we as black people need to stand behind you because you were a mark? Like, that, I don't think you should use that at this time. Unless we really prove that Mr. Busby is like, he has an agenda, like you should. Or maybe...
I know he does, but if you give somebody the opportunity to be like, if
these people are actually doing these crimes, what do we...
Again, two things could be true.
Yeah.
Busby could be a piece of shit, which I've heard he is.
Mm-hmm.
But also it's kind of like, well, this is how you get money, by catching people slipping like this.
People over here being messy and don't know how to kind of conduct their business. Yeah. We don't have these NDAs. We don't have, and these particular, let me shut up.
Sometimes the NDAs don't be meaning shit.
Some people feel like the lawsuit is going to be worth more than NDA. Mm-hmm. So fuck it. All right. So going to the next. Oh, speaking of, what do you want to do?
I was just going to say, I was like, do we want to talk about more nasty men, or do we want to just move into our topic?
Okay. Wow, what nasty man we moving on to?
Who are we talking about?
The one from our hometown.
Oh.
Who, R. Kelly?
He already in jail. We're talking about Mr. West.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about Kanye?
Wake
nasty
up, Mr.
ass.
West. All right, Kanye West. He had
I guess that's a yes.
Confessed to us. We'll just talk about it real fast.
Okay.
Do you believe him? Also, Hassan, hold on. Hey,
do
y'all.
I believe him?
Hold on. Let's talk.
Read the
we
tweet.
don't want to go through we don't want to beat around the bush on this one.
Nah.
Now, because Kanye West decided to come through.
I'll never want to be this close to my cousins. I can say that right now.
See, Kanye West came through and gave us a confessional tweet about his growing up and a particular relationship he had with his cousin. Did you find that tweet?
So Kanye says, this song called Cousins is about a cousin that's locked up in jail for life for killing a pregnant lady a few years after I told him that we couldn't look at dirty magazines together anymore. That's nasty too. I never got that.
So you as a guy, who introduced you to porn? Or are you comfortable?
You know what? Nobody introduced me to it, but I saw my brothers watching it. Like it may be a time where it's like I'm walking and I sometime pass and be like, oh, they looking at porn or something like that. But never been a case of like, oh, one of my homies, me and my homie watching it, looking at dirty magazines. Like,
here, look, see?
Yeah.
Nipples.
Yeah, and that happens. Actually, a lot of guys came up and thought that was a normal thing. That's like a rite of passage.
Mm-hmm.
So
a lot of men are finding out that they were actually sexually abused.
Yeah. Yeah. And then again, continue to tweet. He says, perhaps in my self-centered self, I felt it was my fault that I showed him those dirty magazines when he was 6, and we acted out what we saw. That's crazy. My dad had Playboy magazines, but the magazines I found in the top of my mom's closet were different. My name is Ye, and I sucked my cousin's dick till I was 14.
So he was the one that introduced the cousin?
Yeah, to the magazines.
Okay.
And they did whatever was in those magazines.
If that is your truth and that's how you feel comfortable exposing it to the world, okay. But Kanye.
It's like, I can't even say I get it. I kind of get it, but I get it.
You can get it with your therapist. You don't have to tell everybody that.
You don't have to tell everybody, but at the same time, it's like, I was trying to dignify that. No, you shouldn't say that shit. Like, you should have just kept that shit.
Yeah.
It's actually really sad. Like, the deeper that you like sit here and you really like think about it, it's just like, one, like the innocence being just like taken so early. Mm-hmm. And then like you want to laugh at like all of his irrational behaviors, I think, like, you know, but like
then you look at it and be like, okay, that kind of makes sense.
I haven't even like laughed at him, honestly, in a very long time. Actually, I don't think I've ever laughed at him. I think I just knew this man, he's one of the first celebrities that I was just like, I can see something wrong here. Not wrong, but there's something off spectrum here that's a little out of character that I know is probably related to some deep trauma with this person. And nothing that he's doing is actually funny to me or entertaining. It's actually makes me sadder, you know? And maybe because I'm from Chicago, so I feel a little bit more sympathetic to him. But there's something going on with him that deeply, you know, it's affecting him. And I knew that from his music. I was like, ooh, he going into a dark place. I don't know if I can listen to this album, but okay. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, he let us know in his music he was like freaky as shit.
He going down, going real deep, dark down.
Like this isn't the person that we saw go toe to toe with 50 Cent and beat him.
Right, I was so proud of that moment.
To him now saying that he sucked his cousin dick till he was 14. Like, again, it's sad. It's
sad. You know what, 50 Cent, I think you funny. I just think that sometimes you be an asshole.
Yeah, 50 is just so petty.
He the biggest asshole.
He is so petty.
But he knows it, though.
He is.
Is he Scorpio?
Cool.
He a Cancer.
She knew that right off the bat.
You gotta, sometimes I'll be like, why do I not like this person? And why? Why are they going through life like this? Cancer.
Interesting. Wait. Cancers are supposed to be my perfect match sign.
I mean, I think maybe the matching of energies might be like.
You know who was a Cancer? Mr. Delicious.
Oh. Girl, you better let that go. That shit is long gone, okay?
I am. It's gone. I honestly was looking at pictures with my sister. Sorry, and we can get back on topic because I know we got to keep this short. But I was looking at pictures, like going through my phone with my sister. And I was just like, just going through. And I'm like, oh, yeah, look at this and that and this and that. And I was like, oh, I remember that, man.
Oh, I saw it too. I was like,
sorry.
She's in love.
Anyway, so that's our extra segment for this week.
Yeah, I think we can stop here.
It's pretty hardy.
Well, yeah.
So we're going to go into our main topic of the episode. We're talking about personality types a little bit. Obviously not like the full gamut of them, but we're going to talk about a common one that you might be familiar with, like type A personality types. I feel like you hear them a lot. We're going to discuss type A and type B personality types. I just got to pass it off to Jacqueline. You got our Jack facts and our definitions today. So,
all right. Well, the reason why I decided to come up with this topic because it's been popular. Like if you're on TikTok or if you're on Reels, it's just like a type B person going on vacation and you see them rushing to the airport. You see them like going.
I have, yes. Okay. I just saw someone where it's like, I don't remember their names, but it was like, hi, my name is Jared and I planned the trip. And then it pans to the partner and the partner's like, hi, my name is Steve and
I go on the trip.
I'm here. Right. And then it's like, hi, my name is Jared and I booked all the flights. And then they go, hi, my name is Steve.
That's it.
Right.
And I'm cracking up, and I'm literally reading the comments, and the type A people are in the comments stressed out. And I'm just like, dang, am I doing this to y'all? And then I send it to you guys or to like Dolphin or Lee, and they're just like, yeah, oh my God. Like, and I was just like, dang, do I really causing so much stress to people? And this is just, it's like when you watch a couple of those things, the memes or reels, TikToks or anything like that, you can see where you kind of fall, especially when it comes down to what's happening at the moment. So type A, type B people. Let's talk about it. Type A personality. This is just a general overview. I mean, at the end of the day, are these really medical terms for people? No, it's just a popular thing to describe
like
people.
Horoscopes.
Yeah, they're just subjective. There doesn't mean that you're that thing. It's just fun. Type A personality. They can be considered highly competitive, ambitious, organized, impatient, often feels a sense of urgency. They tend to be goal driven, goal orientated, and sometimes stressed. Now, a type B personality can be seen as relaxed, easygoing, less focused on competition and deadlines. They are generally more patient, creative, and emotionally steady. So, we both have I have a pros and cons list here, and then the balanced perspective. Do you want me to read off?
Do you want to just start with who you feel like you are?
Okay. I know I am a type B person. I just know there are some things I can be type A about, but if I had to check it off and add up the totals, I'm probably a type B person.
And I'm the literally exact opposite. Just crack. Sorry. I'm literally everything that she said, but flip it, because I'm like, yeah, if there are some things that I can be type B about, relaxed and whatever else. But like in general, absolutely type A most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Most of my friends are type A, which is so funny. I have some type B friends, but I think that, I don't know. I think that that's where the balance comes in. So, is there another question that you want to talk about really fast? Like which one of you?
Well, you could go into the pros and cons, right?
So we're going to talk about the pros of being a type A personality. Pros, you are highly motivated and goal orientated. Okay, so you're going to work on your goals. You're ambitious. You're going to relentlessly go about, you're just going to stop. Don't look at me. You work relentlessly to achieve them. Their drive often leads to success and high productivity in competitive environments. You're also organized and efficient. You can plan and structure activities. That means you're well prepared, efficient, and good at managing time and resources.
Manager.
Yep, there you go. And strong leadership and competitive spirit. I'm not going to read too much into that. That kind of explains itself. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, not all the time,
correct,
you can be resilient under pressure.
I actually hate being under pressure.
Yeah.
I actually try to plan to avoid any type of pressure.
Yeah.
Stay ready.
Stay ready, honey.
So, Jackie, do you feel like you do that?
I'm definitely not a type A person.
She already said
no, as far as you are better under pressure.
Oh yeah, I love pressure. That makes me
She's like I need pressure.
I need a little pressure.
It
just it's like light that fire under my ass so I can go. Oh, okay. Because trust me, if it ain't that deep, I'll be like, when is it due? Okay, we'll get it done.
Let's do the pros of B.
Yeah. So a type B personality. Pros: relax and less stress prone. So type B individuals generally approach life in a calm and measured way, which often results in lower stress and healthier work-life balance. Flexibility and creativity. So it allows for more adaptability, and we can also think outside of the box and adjust plans when the unexpected occurs. Strong interpersonal skills. With being less competitive, type B personalities were more patient and diplomatic in resolving conflicts, which makes them effective team players and communicators. The last thing is that we enjoy the presence of the moment. We're kind of present. We're here. We're not thinking about the back and we're not thinking about the front. Now, is that a good thing? Yeah, it depends on the situation again. So,
hey, it's in the pros. They wrote it down in the pros.
Yeah, but sometimes that shit does not work. Okay.
Because being present is something that I have to work on all the time.
Gosh, I know that's stressful.
That's what my therapist, she always telling me about when I was going, about breath work and breathing and really taking the time to sit down and how are you feeling? And I'm just like,
oh man,
be in this moment?
Yeah.
It's what about the next moment? How can I be here?
I think I do relate to this part about flexibility and creativity. I do think of myself as a creative person when I'm relaxed and flexible because life just changes. It pivots. I think one of the most strong suits during my interviews, when people say, what is a strong suit for you? I'm like, my ability to pivot. I'm not really hung up on like, if the policy changes, the policy changes. So we just have to move. It's because it's changing for a reason. So we have to kind of just go with it until it changes again. They always like, oh, I love that. That's just so they can take advantage of me.
Exactly.
Yes, they can take advantage of me.
Because you're not controlling anything. You're going with the flow.
We're just going with the flow.
Exactly.
Okay.
If it changes, it changes.
But I do think that is a good thing when it comes down to just life in general, because like it's not, I do think that the journey is going to journey. And that's the fun part. Like we're telling a story, like when your journey on the way to your destination is like, that's the storytelling part. Mm-hmm. It's a part, the plot just plots.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that looking at these is either inherently good or inherently bad.
Yeah.
I think when we're definitely going to get there, but like, I think that like, when and where and
there you go.
Do you want to just jump into like situational questions?
Let's see. So I have the list of the aspects of life and then, okay, yeah. So can someone be a type A and type B depending on the situation? Like work versus personal life. Okay.
Do you personally feel like you are different in different settings?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. 1,000% me as well. How do you feel like you show up at work?
Oh gosh.
Like what aspect?
I would love to work in a type B environment when it comes down to time. Like if the work gets done, the work gets done. I don't want to clock in at a certain time every day.
Wait.
If the work gets done,
I don't like that.
I got a question. What does that mean when the work gets done?
The work is done today. Did we meet the deadline or did we not meet the deadline?
From a work standpoint, from a 9 to 5.
I'm crying.
The work gets done.
What do you mean? From a 9 to 5 standpoint, when the work is done, it gets done.
Yeah. So when it's like, okay, if I get my work done at 1, can I leave at 1? Or do I still have to stay till 5?
I love those types of rules.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm very much so like work when it's best for you to work, like work when you are your most productive.
Yeah.
Like don't wake me up at 5 a.m. Like why am I doing that? Or I'm not working at 11 p.m. If I could pick my hours a little bit more, that'd be great. Or like it didn't have to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday every week. Like can there be, so from that perspective, I get you. Yeah. But from like a day to day, like you got to do your tasks today. Like they got to.
No, they. My thing is that's why you have a job to do their tasks.
Right.
But there are certain things like, for instance, like okay, there's a project due, and whether say it's due on the 31st, if it's done on the 10th, is it done on the 15th, or is it done on the 31st? Mm-hmm. Don't get on me because it's the 31st and I turned it in. You gave me the deadline of the 31st. What's the fucking problem?
Oh, like that one time when. About the interview questions, and I was like, "Yeah, let's do them by Friday."
Oh yeah,
and you told me that you thought that you were going to turn them in at 11 p.m. You said, "Yeah, it was still going to be Friday,"
and I was just like, "No, that's like," and that's when I was just like, "Okay, see, now we got to get a little detail because like you can't give me that." And then I'm thinking, I gave you
Friday on Monday though, which is the point that you're trying to make is like you gave me all of this time to do it. I think where I get anxious is like, where's the updates?
No, my,
you know what I'm saying?
My boss is, can I tell you? So this is an example of what happened for me. There was an education due. It was due at midnight on a date. So I'm getting a text message at 9 a.m. from my boss. It's not done. You need to have it done. It should be done. And then we had a meeting like, you were the last person to do it. And I'm very disappointed in you. I'm like, you gave me to that midnight to do it. Why are you calling me at this time? If that's not the deadline, that's not the deadline. And also I know this sounds bad, but it's just like how and when I do something, determines how you treat me or look at me, I don't think we should work together. Because like, why are you getting mad? Like, if it's submitted at midnight and it's within the deadline, that's cool. But if you look at somebody that turned it in at 9 or like 10 days earlier as better than the person that turned it in at 11:59, then I mean, if they do, that's fine. But at the same time, it's just like, stop making it seem like I'm being a bad person. You can look at them like, and my thing is, you could reward them for like being proactive, productive. That's fine. But don't make me feel bad for turning it in within the deadline that you gave me.
Yeah. If you are turning it in on the deadline, great.
Yeah.
That's good. Like, you should have picked a different deadline if you wanted a different deadline.
That's how I feel.
I can understand that. I do think that
you can reward somebody without demonizing other people.
And I don't even think you need to necessarily reward the other person, but I'm just like, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to process what you're saying because I understand what you're saying. It makes sense to me. I'm also just like, maybe people have higher expectations for you than you have for yourself. Like, maybe people are like, you know, like, I see so much potential in there.
And this is why women get into these relationships and get disappointed every time. Because you're supposed to take for what you got.
Don't look at my potential. Like, okay.
Baby, the potential.
Don't look at it.
Y'all keep getting your
It's not there. It's not tapped in.
Every damn time. Because you over here putting some stuff on me that I didn't give you. So you can see, because I mean.
Now you sound like a nigga, because niggas be saying that.
I mean, because it's, I do feel like, and while y'all think I'm a man hater, there are certain points that are to be made. Like, we are putting 20 on 10. Like, stop. Like, he's this. So that's what you got. And until things change, that's what you have. Stop putting onto what you think you could do. And okay, let's go back to it. Yeah, let's talk about the aspects of life in type A, type B.
So type B for work.
So type B for work wants to enjoy the work, values balance and satisfaction over just success. Yeah, that is me. A type A person would also, it's deemed as always trying to get promoted, works long hours, very focused on winning. Here's the thing. I've literally burned myself out for my first job, trying to achieve and trying to get promoted. And just, I'm like, wow. And then my output, and I'm still getting rewarded the same as somebody else who didn't do that. And then somebody tapped me on my shoulder and was like, Jackie, you need to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, no, 1,000%.
And I'm just like, dang. And I literally came up. And
it's about schmoozing. It's about being liked. It's almost really not about... I mean, sometimes it is about the work, sometimes, but sometimes it's just about the relationship.
And I do think that
I'm so sorry.
For being a type B person, like, you heard of personality hires.
Yeah, I want to be a personality hire.
That's a type B person.
Yes. And I was going to say, I'm very type B. I'm not trying to, at work, I'm definitely not trying to, I want work-life balance. I don't want to be there for 12 hours. I don't even want to be there for 8. Like, I would like to do my best. Like I just said, I want more of that flexibility in a work situation, which is why I'm very happy that I'm at least remote. Like, amen. But like I would like to have more balance. I would never want to, plus it's not even my company. Why would I show up and give everything to something that ain't got my name on it? It does not have it. So I'm not going to do that for something that's not. No. However, my line of work specifically, I love supporting y'all hoes. I'm going to advocate. What's your problems? Let's chat it up. However, I'm not going to be there, but I'm not going to be there for 12 hours. I'm not always trying to get promoted. I am trying to always make as much money as I can without hoarding wealth. But like, I'm not trying to do too much. I'm trying to do enough for the pay.
Yeah. I like type B type of work. I mean,
however, I am organized.
When it comes down to actually doing the task, though, I am pretty like, all right, I do want to do the best. At the end of the day, if I turn my shit in at 11:59 p.m., that's still the one that's going to be presented to the whole board. Right. So
she's like, it actually was great.
Yeah.
You're just mad that it took so long.
Yeah.
But it actually was within the deadline you gave me.
Because there's this person that submitted theirs at 9 p.m. and they're very basic and to the point. They knocked it off, but I knocked it off and I also added a little bit more. So which one do you want? Okay. You mad? Okay. Sorry. I'm talking to people at work.
She's mad.
I'm mad that you want to talk to me. Let me stop, because they're gonna be like, ew, she talking about you.
Because they want more from you. They want you to turn in that amazing assignment.
No, because if you want me to turn in that amazing assignment at 9 p.m., I'm gonna give you what I got, because all my energy was focused on meeting this particular deadline of this time that you gave me, versus me like thinking I have all this time and I can let things flow and stop and change. Because my thing is, it probably was done 2 days before, but I added some things and just, okay,
well, that's good. I'm glad that you didn't leave it to the last moment to start it. Like that you did at least start it over time. That's good.
So let's talk about conflict. How do we address conflict? A type A person wants to resolve it immediately and may be aggressive or impatient. A type B person prefers to wait, talk things out calmly, and avoid unnecessary stress.
Oh yeah, that's you. The type A, yeah.
Me? Mm-hmm. Oh no, I was definitely going to go with type B.
Really?
Yeah. With conflict? You think that I want to resolve it immediately and maybe aggressive or impatient? Or do I prefer to wait, talk things out?
You don't talk it out at all. You actually try to avoid it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The wait.
It's like the way...
I do want to talk things out, but I might be... You will get a different person if we talk it out right in that moment. It's going to be a different kind of conversation.
Yeah.
I need to go away so that we can be friends again. I need to go away so that we can talk about it.
I don't relate to either of these, because I'm never like, my thing is, when it comes down to a topic, I'm not going to be like aggressive about it or impatient with anybody. That's not me, because I am actually a patient person when it comes down to conflict and want to like understand. Because my thing is, my goal is understanding. We could still have different opinions, but I just want general understanding. And then now talk things out calmly. I don't mind waiting, but I don't want to overwait, because I do feel like when we avoid unnecessary stress, we can go too long to the point where it's probably, I forgot all about that shit. Or now we're at a point where we're trying to recollect things that happened, but it's been so long. So now you're just like, did that happen or did that not happen? So now y'all fighting about details when it just could have been like, okay, yeah, that's what happened in that moment, That's the issues I found with that. So this one, I feel like it's a little not really cool how this is divided, but how type A. So you said, I
feel like I lean more type B, mostly because I do need to wait. Mm-hmm. I need to wait. I need to make sure that like, okay, how am I going to approach the situation? Also, is this something that I feel like we need to talk about? Like, how am I feeling in that waiting period? Mm-hmm. Am I getting more upset? Because if I'm getting more upset, then we definitely have to talk about it. Or is it going away? Was it like something in that moment? So I definitely need emotional processing time. Yeah, so
I respect that.
You do bring it up a little bit though. When it's something like that really bothers you, you'll bring it up, but you'll bring it up in a jokingly way.
That is true.
I think for sure I'm trying to understand if I should be upset. I think that I'm trying to be like, did you mean what you said or did you say, let's just talk about what happened? I'm trying to inquire a little bit.
Or you'll be like, oh, that person hates me. You'll do that.
Yeah. But that's not wanting to resolve it immediately.
Like I don't agree with these two as far as the definitions goes, because I feel like we can kind of get into this a little deeper.
Also, what are we arguing about? What's the conflict over? What's the fight about?
I think you show it in a different way.
I think you start off as passive aggressive, and then you kind of like, okay, maybe now we should confront it head on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, you just show it differently. You're not a person to be like, hey, can we talk about this?
I'm not necessarily trying to hide that I have a problem with you. I want you to know that there's a problem. Yeah, I don't know. It's very complicated. My conflict management is not the best. It's not. It's not one of my strong suits.
You've been trying to like we talked about it on this podcast, like, how you've like unfortunately like handle conflict in the past and how you're trying to fix it in the future. Like, I know you're not talking to a therapist currently, but like that's something that has been on your plate as far as like working on. I know for me, like conflict, I feel like growing up, it was always like I'm right, you're wrong. That's the end of the story. Like, but I had to realize like, just because I have a strong feeling about something doesn't make me right. I have to understand like there's other perspectives, and I'm like being open to hearing and listening. Because sometimes when I'm really passionate about something, I can just be like, let me get my point off and then you can talk. And then it comes to a situation like, you're not letting me speak. And now I'm like, oh, my bad. Because like Earlene tells me that all the time. She's like, you're not letting me speak, Jackie. And I was just like, oh, you're right, girl. My bad. Hold on. Let me reel it back. But I think I am probably one of the better people to have conflict with, because like like I said, my goal is understanding, and my goal is like, okay, we may not agree, but at the same time, like I understand where you're coming from. So if somebody comes to you, like for instance, say you and I disagree on a subject, and then somebody came to me like, yeah, Erica, she wrong. I'm gonna be like, that's just her perspective. This is how she feels. Because at the end of the day, I don't agree with it, but this is where I can honestly defend your point to that person, because don't talk to me about that person, because like, if you don't like that person, you don't like that person. But I'm going to still say at the end of the day, this is where Erica's coming from. Now, do I agree with it? No. But this is her perspective. And y'all can talk about that on your own day.
Yeah. You know? See, I don't want to have to defend something that I can't defend. I don't want to have to do that.
You don't have to defend the topic, but could you defend the person on their perspective?
Now, see, my stepmom tried to have a bonding moment about behavior for our Krista. And I felt very weird in that situation, because I was like, I don't like you enough to talk to you about something that maybe I even do agree a little bit with you. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm not good at conflict. All I can tell you is I'm more so needing to take the time to reflect on how I'm feeling, to be able to communicate that to you about like, okay, this is the situation. Here's how I'm feeling about it. And then at that point, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, I respect where you're coming from, and also like I respect your journey with that particular issue, because that's all I got. Now, leisure time. This is another thing. So the way type A and type B talks about how they handle leisure time. Type A might feel guilty when relaxing, plans vacations meticulously down to the very last thing.
This is so interesting to me.
And then a type B person, when they're having leisure time, totally chill, goes with the flow on vacations, might decide activities spontaneously. I'm a type B. Like, okay. I'm gonna say this. I'm type A when it comes down to like food. When I'm traveling somewhere, I know where I want to eat. Like, I'm like, I want to go here. I want to go here. No matter what we do, as long as we go here and go here, I don't give a fuck. Now, when we go, I don't give a fuck either, but we going here. Sorry for the language.
I want to know what my outfits are.
Oh, period.
So I almost want an itinerary just for planning, like just for the planning part.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I'm on vacation, like I don't feel guilty when I'm relaxing. Like I do go with the flow, but I'm like, I don't know. As much as I feel sometimes like I can show up in that way, but it's mostly because I did everything that made it okay for me to show up that way in this moment. Like I planned for that moment to be able to be more free and flowing and spontaneous, because I did everything. So
yeah, that's true. And I actually feel you with when it comes down to that. When you do have an itinerary and somebody decides to like, okay, as a type B person who gets the itinerary, not making the itinerary, it is nice, because
I appreciate that.
I do. I really do.
When somebody else plans it, that's the best. Because I love that there's a plan that I didn't make, but there's still a plan that helps me plan.
Yeah.
So I don't have to make the plan. I'd actually prefer to have input into the plan and someone else execute it. That's why I'm a leader. I'd rather actually be the visionary and you execute. I would rather
slavery.
Be like, here's some. That is not it. It's just called the boss.
We'll talk about it.
It's just called the boss.
I got some conspiracy theories. This ain't got nothing to do with it. No, it has something to do with you. It was just like the inherent feeling of resentment of work, and why it's like relayed to lesser people, and particularly people of color. Mm-hmm. That's another story for another day. Can we talk? Look, trust me, I got some other tinfoil hat stuff we got to talk about. Okay. Okay. Manufacturing. Is it really coming back? Okay. So
Health. Oh, did we want to move forward?
Yeah. So we're going to talk about health. So when it comes down to health, as a type A person, you're prone to more stress-related illnesses like high blood pressure and could I say like cancer, and digestive-related issues can also be related to stress as well. For a type B person, lower stress levels, often better long-term health outcomes. So here's for me. When I literally put myself under the pressure, but it's too much pressure, I feel like that's affecting me health-wise. Where I can be more type A is like how I like kind of stuff that's just not going to go away. Like, okay, work, health. If I actually like plan out like, okay, you know, you're working tomorrow. What do you have to do so you can relax, so you can show up and be 100%?
That's why I feel very like this is very interesting that it's listed like this, because to me, I'm like high blood pressure. I would have high blood pressure living as a type B because I can't plan. I'm so in the flow. I don't know. It would give me anxiety. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I feel weird, like this, reading this, being like, my blood pressure is fine. I don't know what y'all talking about.
You are in your early 30s, girl. So
I feel okay. Well, we got to keep monitoring everything.
Keep going, get some blood work done.
But yeah, no. So I think that's interesting. I can understand, lower stress. If you're not stressed about nothing, of course you have lower stress. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so you going with the flow, you're not stressed. I could get that. But yeah, I guess I'm not stressing about things because I planned it. I've thought about it. So I'm like, I don't have to stress about it. It's planned.
Your sense of like reduced stress is planning, which inherently is type A. And then type B is just like, I like being present in the moment, and then the decisions happen when they happen, and that provides that person less stress. And it makes sense. Where are you leaning? I think you're, well, I'm sorry. Which one are you when it comes down to work? Are you type A or type B?
Definitely type A when it comes to work.
All right. What about conflict?
I was type B. Now I'm type A.
Okay.
Like I can't let it sit. Like I
you
gotta
can't
talk
let it sit
about
too long.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay.
Because I can't
talk about it with somebody. Somebody's hearing about it. If somebody hears it.
Somebody hear about it, but also.
Is that right though?
Yes, it is, because I guarantee you don't want the first version. I guarantee you
don't.
That
is true.
I need to process it So listen, this is let me throw it out here. This is what happened. Someone tell me, and then somebody else tell me.
You might need to like.
How am I?
Honestly, I do see that. Like you gotta kind of like flesh it out real fast with somebody who ain't gonna who's not attached to the matter.
Yes,
because it's like, Because my thing is, I know for me, I used to be that person that's just like, because I'm say some shit and then you ain't gonna like it. So, but it's just like, damn, I don't want to say it like that because like that's fucked up,
right?
Like, because my thing is, are we trying to again come to understanding, or are we trying to like hurt a person,
right?
And it's just like your first instinct is to hurt that person because you're just genuinely trying to defend yourself, but because you're hurt, But then you're trying to realize like that's not the goal of the issue here.
Right.
Yeah.
Like do you like, I don't want to be right. I want to like, let's figure out like what's the goal here. Again.
So I need that time. But as far as me needing to talk to that person, I will have to talk to that person that day.
Okay.
Like that's me. I try to hold it till the next day, but
I can't sleep sometimes.
Yeah. Again, depends. And at least maybe the passive aggressive, because I'm like trying to get a feel. Like, did you see this the way that I saw it?
Yeah.
I really gotta go
I know
process.
how I am. I get to talking about it. I don't feel like hearing my own voice. So
what is the conflict? Anyway.
Okay. Sorry.
That was forgot we were on camera.
Excuse me.
Okay, so just a couple of questions. Are you okay with that? I know we're trying to end.
Yeah.
Do you think it's nature or nurture or a bit of both that help you, or like that determines which type you are?
Ooh, I'm gonna say honestly, because nurture. Naturally, I used to be more like tight, but I think being with my mom and like just being around people was just like, oh, it's just, it'll happen when it happens. I had to kind of like let it go, like, because Jackie, you're going to be stressed out. So I had to kind of like let it go. And then I did find that joy there. I also grew up with like a very prompt dad. Like, my dad was definitely the person, like, he was always on time. He was always this, that, and the other. And my mom was just like, we'll show up when we show up. And
that's so interesting, because same.
Yeah. And it's, for me, I kind of like fell into like, I definitely fell into more like my mom's side, because like my dad never like, I was never cussed out or anything for being late. But like, I was never like, my dad, he was like, all right, y'all, let's go. But he just like, oh, that's your mom. So whatever. And I'm like, okay. And then like my grandma, she would like literally like, she genuinely didn't give a fuck about people's time, which I do feel like when people say that's rudeness, I definitely could see, because I do feel like there was moments she was definitely being rude. Growing up, I didn't think it was rude. I just thought it was like, oh, well, she's just treating herself like she's prioritizing herself. But also you got to realize like, dang, people do have home lives. They want to go home. Why are you closing the store? Like, you ain't got to do that. You can also come when they open, so you can have all the time you need, grandma. It's a mixture of both. And that's why I think I can just like, I know I need to incorporate some type A in my life some more. I need to like pull that back in some more. And then also stuff, I'm just like, I need to let it go.
So separate from that, where does, where does zodiac signs or is that like, where does that come in at?
If we want to use zodiac signs, I think, zodiacs is like how you look and perceive life, like, for instance, a Leo is kind of depending on the Leo, like they can be chill, relaxed, very cat-like. And then others that are very like firm, like, yeah, this is like, I'm so dead set on leading and so dead set on being right about the situation. It can kind of like borderline dictatorship. So it's just kind of like, I don't want to be that type of person. I know all zodiac signs have like darkness and light to both of them, but I don't want to be too egocentric to the point where I'm like stickly in that way, I
guess I'm trying to find out, because like y'all talk about it a lot.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm trying to figure out where in the type A, type B,
let me look, and
then how is that intertwined with that?
Go ahead, Google it. I'm gonna say that for me, it's more nurture in your personality style, or like the type A, type B. For me, I think about this all the time. I'm like, I wonder who I would be if I grew up with my mom. My mom is very chill. She's very relaxed, very type B, go with the flow. She don't plan nothing. Except a trip, honey. She stay in the sky. Okay. And I didn't grow up with her. My dad, very type A. My stepmom, very strict. And so like, it was about, we will leave you. You better do this. You're not getting recognized for anything that you should do. You should get A's. You should get B's. Like, we're not going to celebrate that because you should do it. They're very much so rigid, by the book. You do your chores, wake up, get ready, put clothes on, do your chores, do everything, and then you can sit down. You can't sit down until, like, no TV. Did you do your homework? Did you do laundry? Did you vacuum? Like, have you done your stuff? If you haven't done it, you don't get anything else. Like, you don't get to sit. What?
Yeah, I'm same way. It's more nurture. Like, this is how I was brought up as well, too. Like, being on time, don't be late. Like, anything can happen. Like, even if you somewhere that may take 15 minutes, still leave like an hour early, just because you never know.
It's a part of, like, we were the Black family. Like, you will be looked at a type of way.
That makes a lot of sense too. And it's so crazy to be under a microscope. Like, is your lawn mowed? Is your things put up? Like, is the trash out? Like, do we have multiple cars in the driveway?
Are y'all late? Look at these Black kids always showing up late. Look at these Black kids always looking dirty, nasty, la la la.
I would cry. I don't know. Just because, I grew up where I grew up, and it's just like I'm used, and I'm living in a space where, okay, there's more expectations of you, but it's just like, I'm like, wow. it's like a culture shock for me now, but I know what I want out of life and I want to be safe and I want to be clean. So I just need to live in spaces that have the same mindset as me. So with that, there's going to be more rules. And then you grew up in that and like, you don't know anything else other than that. And that's like, wow. Like when you start young and it's like ingrained in you. So it's like second nature.
That's why I was going with it was nurture because you raised young, you know, it was about how I was raised. Nature to me is like, we would all be the same way if it's nature, you know, like we would all be this way. Like maybe if we weren't in a capitalist society, maybe we would all be type B.
Honey.
You know? Yeah. If we weren't in a racist, classist, sexist society, maybe we could all chill.
But can we?
Well, we can't.
Can I say, and I think we talked about this before, we'll cut it with and I'll talk about the zodiac signs really fast. I also found like that similarity between us, and I feel like it's a little bit more in depth than maybe you realize. So, you know, your dad is a Sag and your mom is a Gemini. So my dad was a Sag as well, and my mom has a lot of Gemini in her chart. So that's why I feel like, and it's so funny because this is probably, imagine, like, because I could easily be where you are, and it's just like, I could see it. Like I see it for real. So in short, I looked up type A, type B, Scorpios and Leos real fast. So they pulled out a whole bunch of things here, but I'm gonna just read the in short part, which I'm really happy that ChatGPT, which is very bad for the environment, does for me. A type A Scorpio, ambitious, intense strategist who needs to win. Did I say type B? Okay, and a type B Scorpio is a chill, soulful strategist who needs to feel fulfilled. So there's a lot here, and I can paste the rest here for you to read later if you're interested in it. In short, a type A Leo, fierce, ambitious king/queen who wants admiration and tangible success. A type B Leo is a chill, radiant soul who shines naturally and cares more about joys than trophies. So it definitely, and it gave the work environments and trades. So we could probably do this in our extra for not extra thoughts for next episode. Yeah, sure. So let me copy this. Okay. But yeah.
Okay. Well, last question, and we could wrap it up. Is it possible or even healthy for a type A person to become more type B, or vice versa for a type B person to become more type A? Do you think that that's like healthy or possible? I mean, I definitely think that like the more that you share space with somebody, the more that they like rub off on you. If you are, I was going to say even like a conscious observer, but sometimes things will just start to hit you and you don't even know where you pick something up from. But yeah, no, I definitely think that like things will rub off on you the more that you stay around someone or share space with someone, like in all aspects, right? Like the language that they use, the things that they like and watch, like you might start taking interest, or you might, you know, explore whatever. I definitely think that people can rub off on you. And I also think that it's healthy. Like you shouldn't be an extreme of anything, really.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Go ahead.
No, that's what I was going to say.
That's it. That's my take.
Yeah, I do. Again, I said this before. Like, if I'm around the same thing over and over again, and just like indoctrinates a certain mindset for me, and I know that I'll have blinders on. We all have blinders. That's just what biases are. We just are just biased people sometimes. But I'm trying my best to go through this world to like not have so many blinders on, and like. I know, like, dang, like, I can't just be like that chill person, like, oh, just go with the flow and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, I'm just going to have the job that's just going to be given to me that I could get. I'm just going to have the relationship just because it was available and convenient. Like, I'm going to have, like, I'm just going to live where I live because this is where accept me, versus being more type A and just saying, this is what I want. And if I want this, I need to plan. And so that's why I'm trying to do my best these days. It's a challenge. I challenge myself all the time. And it's just, there's moments where I'm successful and moments where I'm not. I'm trying not to beat myself up over it, but it's just, I know that's just like that journey of life that I'm taking now. But I think, yeah, it's a benefit. And if you can and allow that in, I feel like it's going to pay off.
Beautiful. So thanks so much for listening, watching, learning. Hopefully you made it to the end. Do you think there's a personality type that's going to make it to the end? Like type A got to like really watch the whole thing, or like type B is just like, I was chilling anyway and it just played in the background.
Hopefully you got both.
Okay, cool.
Hopefully.
Whoever you are, thanks for being here. And make sure you like, subscribe, like we said at the top, do all the things. Follow us on social. You can find our podcast, the Just Extra Podcast. We're on Spotify and YouTube, Just Extra Podcast. We have a TikTok and Instagram, and the TikTok's been ignored, I feel.
I've been uploading the previews on there.
Great. So we have a TikTok and an Instagram. Just
the previews
extra
that we have
underscore
other clips
podcast. First and foremost, we have not had a Am I Just Being Extra in a minute, but we have done some. The vulnerability ones are the in-person ones are it's just harder to clip because it's like,
I know we got to be.
How do we make that a thing?
Be done. They just we have to kind of do a little something.
Anyway,
different.
so there's a mix of content on social media that you can find. You can follow Jackie at All Things J, Jay spelled out. You can follow me, Erica_stay ready. You can follow Hassan at Mr.Forbes. Dot is spelled out, DOT. And we will catch you on the next episode.
Bye.
We're just being extra.